animal lover, dogs especially, as you saw Henry. He's so beautiful. That's why I'm still blown away by that trick. That's why we like to shine a light on awesome humans who go above and beyond for our furry friends. And we've teamed up with our locally owned NBC station partners for the Positively Good Awards. Our next honoree comes from my home state of Texas, and our friends at NBC5 Dallas-Fortworth. She's an animal services officer and wildlife investigator. On top of that, she's fostered hundreds of pets in her own home. Everybody say hello to Jackie. So Jackie, this is amazing. Always nice to have a Texan on the show. I love it. But I heard you're known as the coyote lady. Is that what they say?
Yeah, that's a nickname that I've developed over like the past year and a half.
Yeah.
I work with the City of Dallas Animal Services, and my primary focus and task is coyotes.
Yeah.
So we have an abundance of coyotes that live from the outskirts in the wooded areas all the way to downtown in Greenville.
They're beautiful. Yeah.
But so I work with educating the public extensively in regards to elimination of attractants, making sure we're not making any bad decisions that are putting our pets at risk or accidentally feeding wildlife that we shouldn't.
Yeah.
And I also actively go out and I train coyotes. I reproduce situations where they're making bad decisions, and then I introduce a consequence.
Yeah.
Which it doesn't hurt the animal at all. There's nothing.
Yeah.
It's just reminding them that people need to be feared and they need to have firm boundaries when it comes to interactions with us.
Well, and I learned, like, I own a ranch in Montana, and I learned, like, because people at first were trying to, like, kill off the coyotes, and I'm like, don't do that. Like, they're here for a reason, because we have all these prairie dog, we have all these other things there.
Right.
And they kind of help you maintain like an
absolutely,
or we'll be overrun by them. Well,
yeah.
It's not just coyotes, obviously. There's other animals that you help with as well.
Yes, anything I can get my hands on.
Yeah. I love animals.
If I can pet it, I'll take it home.
Yeah.
And I'm actually a licensed wildlife rehabber as well with the state of Texas.
Yeah.
And I specialize in bats and opossums. They're my favorite.
Oh, wow.
I do a lot of work with our indigenous species of bats.
I lived in North Texas, and I had a random bat population there.
Oh, it's not random.
Yeah, it was random to me. I was like, was that a bat? I was like, I was outside, and it was.
There's millions of them. There's millions of them. So I've got 13 at the house right now that are going to be staying for winter torpor, because some don't migrate, some hibernate and they stay with us, and if they make a bad decision, then they get to stay at hotel
Casa de you. Yes, I like it.
For the winter. But yeah, I handle calls with the city for bobcat concerns, anything sick and injured.
Bobcats
I go out for those. Bobcats are also amazing creatures.
Yeah.
Raccoons, skunks. I pull skunks out of dumpsters. I've gotten skunks out of fences, and they're great to work with. This is actually that's not a domesticated animal. She's completely wild as long as you're quiet.
She could have wilded right in your face.
She could have. I didn't give her a reason to. That's the important part. You stay still.
I didn't give mine a reason to either in LA, and I had like a family of them, and they're like, oh, you got to get them out. And I'm like, no, they got to live somewhere. And then they sprayed Henry like a few times, and I'm like, because it's a dog.
That was the end of it. Yeah, dogs are not very.
No, I still let him stay.
Quiet,
I still let him stay.
But that's one of the things.
Henry's a dumb dog. He should have learned not to do that.
Yeah, and they never learn. They get sprayed, 2-3 times.
Yeah.
But that's something I also steer citizens, help them with as far as humane exclusion, how to solve problems without trapping and removal. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't resolve anything. It's not good for the animal. And it's just going to come back. Let's focus on solutions, long-term solutions. And,
well, because they're getting pushed out everywhere.
Do really well. So,
yeah. You've always been passionate about animals, right? Like since you were young?
As far as my parents have told me, yes. They love to tell stories of me going into the nursery behind the woods and, finding garter snakes and stuff and putting them around my neck and going into the house, which my mom was terrified of snakes. She was absolutely terrified, so that didn't.
I'm not terrified, but I'm not going to wrap one around my neck.
She didn't want one in the house.
Yeah. I'm all right with it, but over there.
So, but dogs, cats, birds. My dad had birds when we grew up, and I got into horses. I played polo for a while.
You just love animals.
Anything involving animals, it just seems to. I really gravitate.
They're so calming and so therapeutic, and it's just like a different kind of love, right?
And they're happy with whatever you bring to the table.
Yeah.
I mean, the animals are just they're so content with whatever you have, whatever you look like, whatever you do, however much money you have.
Yeah.
They don't care. They just want
love.
Your love and your companionship and acknowledgement, and their basic needs are met, and they're happy.
Oh my God, I couldn't agree more. Well, everybody, for more information on the Positively Good Awards and how to nominate an animal lover head to our show's Facebook page right now.